Welcome aboard the Boat Buyers Secret Weapon podcast, where we're dedicated to helping first-time and experienced boat buyers find the right boat at the best price so they have years and years of boating fun, because life truly is better on a boat. Today's podcast is sponsored by the Boat Buyers Secret Weapon YouTube channel. Don't pay too much for your next boat. Just visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/save to watch a short video. Now, let's hop aboard and have some fun.
Captain Matt, Boater Secret Weapon, and thanks for checking out this video on things I wish all boaters would know. If you're a newer boater, even if you're an experienced boater, you may learn something here. The first is always have your dock lines. Not only have dock lines on the boat, have at least 4 of them, maybe even 6. But as you come into a docking situation, get your dock lines ready. Have them attached. It's amazing how much easier everything is when fenders are out and dock lines are attached and ready to go. When you get to your dock, even if it's not a perfect approach, you've got everything ready. It's easier to step off and make it look good and get tied up securely than if you're fumbling with your lines and still trying to get them out or get them hooked up to the cleats and figure out how you're going to tie off. When you do all that stuff beforehand, everything is much, much easier. Next is maintenance. Understanding the required maintenance and the little things that you just don't know that a boat needs, like pulling the prop and checking for fishing line, changing the impeller on a periodic basis every 2 to maybe 3 years at the most, changing your fluids, cleaning out the cowling and keeping everything clean and greased, all those little Zerk fittings. Those are things that we talk about in the Boater Bootcamp, which is a free video program that you can get at boaterbootcamp.com. Next, if you're a trailer boater, the biggest mistake I see at the ramp is backing in too deep. You typically, depending on the angle of your ramp, you typically don't need your bunks all the way submerged a foot into the water. Leave just a little bit of that tip out, and you'll be surprised at how much easier trailering your boat out of the water is and getting it loaded up. Next, if you're night boating, the LED lights are super popular, but docking lights are not meant for cruising down the middle of the lake. Any extra lights you have on your boat, you'll find it's easier to drive if you leave all of those extra lights off and save those cool LED lights from where you're just anchored out or when you're at the dock. And you'll find night operation is so much easier and safer for everybody else. Next is just knowing how to operate your boat, knowing how the controls work on your boat and having the feel for them. It's something that I wish more boaters knew. You see it sitting at the restaurant docks or even at the boat ramp, and you see that people just don't understand the basics. It's why I created the Best Boat Captain on the Water that will just boost your confidence and your skill level. Same thing with Trailer Like a Pro, Tow Watersports with Confidence, and the Boating Fun Amplifier toolbox. Next is having the proper anchor setup and setting the anchor out with the right amount of line, having the right amount of chain. Typically, if you've got your anchor, you have 5 foot of chain, and then you let out 5 to 7 times the depth of the water. If it's nice and calm, you can get away with 3. But if you've got wind, if you've got current, if you've got big waves, let out some more line, and that chain is really one of the keys. So there's a couple other videos on the channel you can see about anchoring as well. Next is understanding no wake zones. And truly just the impact of your wake on other boaters, on shorelines, people anchored out, people's docks. Being considerate. It may be that, yeah, you're just outside the no wake zone, but if you're surfing, if you're going real slow and plowing that water, maybe get out into the middle of the water where your wake isn't causing that much damage or that much inconvenience for other boaters, even if you're inside the law. And definitely in the no wake zones, that means idle speed. Another thing I see a lot, especially with kids, is towing water sports just way too fast. I'm over 200 pounds, and when I used to barefoot, I only barefooted at about 32, 33 miles an hour, and it was plenty fast to do it. When I pull my kids on the wakeboard, I'm going maybe 8, 10, 12 miles an hour, depending on the conditions and what they're doing. When you're tubing, there's a speed that's appropriate for the age and the aggressiveness that you want to tow them, but you don't need to go very fast. As a slalom skier, I ski about 32 miles an hour. If I'm skiing on 2, about 22 miles an hour. Something that we talk about in the Best Boat Captain and the Tow Water Sports with Confidence section of that. And then it's knowing how to handle your boat in different conditions and handle the weight distribution. There's a lot of issues that can be caused when you have all of your weight up front in the bow, when you're operating and you don't know exactly where we're going. Again, it comes down to the skills of the operator and knowing how to manage your boat and the guests on your boat properly so you can have a good, fun time out of the water. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're a newer boater, I encourage you to grab that Boater Bootcamp. It's totally free, boaterbootcamp.com. If you are not confident operating your boat, handling around the docks, putting it on the trailer, check out the Best Boat Captain on the Water, bestboatcaptainonthewater.com. And remember, life truly is better on a boat.
Let's pull up the anchor and run this podcast back to the docks. We'll be back again with another helpful and fun episode next time. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/guest, and I'll help offer insights into your boat research and shopping experience. Also, we'd appreciate it if you took just 2 minutes to rate and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. It helps others find us so we can help more boaters. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it in your boating groups on social media. They will certainly thank you. And by the way, if you haven't already, grab your free Boat Buyers Secret Weapon Toolkit at boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/toolkit. And so you don't pay too much for your next boat, visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/save for a short video. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with a few first-time boating tips for when you own your new boat. Number one, know your local boating laws, basic navigation rules, and how to operate your boat safely. It'll make boating even more fun for everyone. Two, be aware of your wake at all times and pay attention to no wake zones because you are responsible for your wake. When maneuvering at slow speeds, you can put out an enormous wake. If going slow, be courteous, save some fuel, and drop down to idle speed, just in forward gear to ensure there is no wake. This could save you an expensive ticket and will keep you from being that guy on your waterway. Number three, boats do not have headlights. They have docking lights, specifically made for seeing in tight quarters and docking. Do not turn your docking lights on while cruising down the water. It can blind other boaters and is very dangerous and, again, could save you an expensive ticket. Number four, follow the maintenance schedule for your boat. Change the oil, impeller, gear lube, winterize if you need to winterize in your area. Inspect your trailer tires, bearings, and grease the hubs if you're a trailer boater to ensure you don't experience expensive and unnecessary repairs that will impact your boating time. Number five, always double check your plug is in, your battery is charged, and the fuel is full before heading out for a day on the water. It could just save your boating day. And if you're a trailer boater, I've got a few extra tips. Number one, at the boat ramp, prepare your boat, your gear, and your guests in the staging area. Then, when you're ready, back down the ramp, unload the boat, head to the parking lot, and right back down to your boat to be fast and courteous to your fellow boaters and don't tie up that ramp unnecessarily. Next, use transom tie-down straps when trailing your boat. Very bad things can happen if you don't, and they do happen. Three, check everything in the boat is secure before heading down the road. Seat cushions, gear, keys, towels, even tubes and lily pads can get blown out when pulling your boat down the highway or interstate. And most important, have fun. Enjoy your boat and get on the water as much as possible because life truly is better on a boat. Until next time, this is your friend in boating, Captain Matt.